Hello and welcome to What's Map for Cities Skylines, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. There are thousands of items on the workshop now, so finding the right one for your next city build is a huge task. So each day, Monday to Saturday, we'll review some using our 5-star rating and the coveted seal of approval. So join me, fellow Skylines explorers, as we venture out to today's new land. Who am I? I'm BonBonB, and you are very, very welcome.
Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to What Map, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. BonBon here. How are you doing? Well, this is the first episode recorded since the Fresh Popcorn interview went live, and I've got to say I'm blown away by the amount of love that you guys have shown in the comments. Thank you so much for that. And also the amount of new subscribers in the first couple of hours. I really didn't expect that either, so thank you so much. Anyway, let's get on with today's point of duty, which is a map review, and it's Thursday, which means it's Throwback Thursday, which means we scour through the archives on the workshop and find something well over a year old, and this one fits the bill. It's Tyria Paradise by BabyStar, and the first thing that grabbed me was the shapes of the map. It's slightly different, certainly from a lot of the older maps. There's your start square, you can see the start intersection there, and then we'll have a look at the resources, which I quite like the look of, nicely tapered in and out, and not too basic. Very good. Now, what do we need off of the workshop? And the answer is just the Provence theme by Mr. Miyagi. And of course, Mr. Miyagi is the creator of the theme that we're doing in the Theme and Luck review at the moment. So that's the only thing you need, and I can't remember. I think I used a realistic LUT for today's show. I think it's escaped from my head, but it's kind of irrelevant. In fact, it probably would have been better if I'd stayed vanilla, because it is an old map, and it would have been obviously created with a vanilla LUT in mind. Right, so what have we got? We've got the two highways running parallel and elevated railway. Now, I'm not massively a big fan of elevated railway. I don't live in a big city, so therefore elevated railways to me is kind of alien. That said, obviously I see it in movies and stuff like that, and so I'm willing to accept. But they tend to be. Oh, here we go. We've got a bit of a dip here, and the railway drops down as well. As it was elevated, I would like to have seen it maintain its level all the way across the level. Like I say, trains don't tend to like hills and dips. But anyway, yes, in a city environment where you're lacking space, I would go for the elevated railway. But this has got a country feel to it. And yes, you will be building a city here, but now we've got some glitching here. I digress a second. Yeah, terrain glitching under the roads there. Can you see that there? All the traffic's just in the way. A lot of traffic on here. Well, out of the way, I'm trying to have a look. Anyway, yes, when you pull back far enough, you get the blue mantle show through on that. Yeah, anyway, so what we got? We got one highway connection running right the way across the map, and the rail is also the one connection running right the way across the map. It elevates here as well, even more so, quite high, and it gets even higher a little bit further along. We'll look at that in more detail shortly. Anyway, this is the intersection for the start square. Just an off-ramp. No exit. Have you noticed that? It's basically half completed. Anyway, that's where you're going to be starting building, which is pretty nice. But yeah, where's the exit, huh? Why are you not giving us a way out of this city? It's a blatant oversight, I would suggest that one. Big fail. Not that it's a difficult thing to put in one ourselves, I guess, but anyway. Let's come down and have a look at this intersection here. Now, the rail is so high here. It's so high. We'll say the ramps on the generic wishbone intersection are a bit high and a bit awkward anyway, so they could be dropped down, and I probably would have raised them up and just run the rail underneath personally, but that's just me and my thing. Anyway, coming up to this bridge to cross to the second island, I love the tree detailing on this ramp here. Okay, I find it a bit steep and unpleasant on the eye as a downward slope. jinky janky connection there, by the way. But the detailing of the trees around it kind of like softens it a little bit. Now, as bridges go, it's not a bad bridge, perfectly aligned, but it's like lower at this end and higher at the other end, which is a little bit untidy. And we get up here, the highway, so we're going to stick to the right-hand highway, okay? The highway split, okay? We'll go around, and 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 back. So basically what we've got is a loop-de-loop there. We'll look at that in more detail in a minute when we have a look at the island, the terrain, etc. after the asset and LUT review break. Anyway, back to our incredibly high railway, which comes back down to ground there. And then we're off to the main bridge that connects the two main play areas. It's a little bit tiered. It's a little bit, I don't know, bumpty-bump. I wouldn't want to be on the train that took me down those ramps there anyway. Once again, this bridge, perfectly aligned, just higher at one end than the other. And that's a shame because, once again, the overall feel for this map's quite good. Just let down slightly by the network connections there. And notice the rail, we're back down to ground level now. I feel much more comfortable now. Obviously, this was built during the Great Steel Strike of 2016. Yeah, no, maybe not. But yeah, I prefer it at ground level, unless there's a reason. And there really didn't seem to be much of a reason on the main stretch there. Anyway, we're coming up towards the fog, so I hope you're sitting comfortably because we've got another lovely asset review for you. And then the theme and LUT, and then we'll be coming back to look at the terrain and all the bits and bobs around the rest of this map. Right, the asset review. Now this one, well, we had residential yesterday, and I thought we'd follow it up with something very similar, as the roads were already in place. It's Chicago Greystones by Honker, and these are the greystoned buildings that I guess you would find in Chicago, which is nice. Once again, I think personally I would find it easier to use yesterday's residential assets than these ones. But I'm sure a lot of you, especially over on the other side of the pond, will have a lot of love for these kind of buildings. So yes, like I say, they do make a nice estate, I've got to say. I wasn't quite sure how to detail these and how to lay them out, but I just kind of copied yesterday. Why not? Chicago Greystones by Honker, and these are, especially the front. Look at the detailing on the front of these. There's more than one. It's not just a singular. Nice, very nice. And off to Themington Island. And this is Mossy Mountain theme by Mr. Miyagi with Clay LUT. And we're now into nightfall because we're in the second half of the week. Right, well, factoid number one. Did you know that nowhere in France is more than 500 kilometres from the sea? Now, that's a big old country, that. So it's quite mind-boggling. I barely believe it, but there we are. King Minos' palace in Crete was built in 2000 BC. But it still has modern plumbing, including running water and toilets. Well, there you are. And in 1956, the Olympic equestrian sports had to be held in Stockholm, while all the other events were in Melbourne, Australia, because of the strict Australian quarantine laws. Well, you know, those horses, they bring death to everywhere they go. Oh, all the wars that involved horses, they were just like the cause of so many things. Anyway, back to the map. Shipping routes, there's no problem with that shipping route through that bridge there. It's high enough, it's wide enough. This one's a bit of more of a problem. It's might be a bit of clipping on the uprights there, and also it's probably a little bit too low. So that bridge is a bit of a problem. But to be honest with you, shipping clipping isn't a huge issue. I mean, you can just raise the bridge. What would be a huge problem is if you haven't got any hovercrafts, because without hovercrafts you can't take your ships and go cross country. And that's what this game needs. It needs more hovercrafts. Whoopsie daisy. Right, water flow. We can cover this fairly quickly. There's not a lot of water flow down the middle here, just a little bit, and that is your start square. You're going to rely on that, possibly on this side as well, a little bit more on this side, but it's not great, it's not strong. What have we got down here? We have got this like little inland lake type thing. It's nice detailing. There is water flow out of that, as you would expect. And then over here, very little on this side of the map as well. So just be careful with where you're putting your outlets, because you might have some problems. Right, now let's have a look at the terrain and stuff. It's pretty flat. The build areas are workable. Look at that over there. Beautiful build area. And it makes it easy to build the city, obviously, with flatter land. Some very nice detailing there, and quite a nice waterfall there. I mean, it doesn't sell itself massively to me. It doesn't end up as the thumbnail in today's show. This is the area for the thumbnail. I quite like this. This is quite pretty. And then we've got the beach. The Provence theme is given. It really does beautify the map. I highly recommend, if you haven't used it, definitely worth having a little play with the Provence theme. This island here, plenty of build plane on this. It's a little bit high, if I'm honest with you. I'd prefer the land to be a little bit lower. But that said, there's plenty of reasons why you might want to have quite a height. Like I say, if it had been less high, then this bridge would have been less of a problem, wouldn't it? Now onto the main build area here. And if we skip across here, I think we missed some detailing there. I think I missed some detailing, guys. Looked like it might have been a Stonehenge, but it's too late now. I've recorded the show. And what have we got over this side? Lots of build plane over here. Loads of it. Gotta say, love it. And love the rugged coastline as well. Looks really good. Resource painting has really brought out. Got pock marks here. Looks like loads of meteorite strikes. And this was before natural disasters, so these are nicely created. I quite once again, very difficult to build anything on it without flattening the land, but bit of sand in there by the looks of it. But yes, it's nice detailing. I like it. It adds a bit of interest to the map. But what I like most about the map is over here. Look at this. Once you unlock this is where your city is going to come to life. Huge, flat, interesting build plane there. Big old slab of land. And yes, I like that a lot indeed. Right, what else have we got? We got this down here, down by the river. Down by the river. By the river is this castle. And it's sprawling, it's interesting. I'm totally buying into it, actually. Even though it's like a little bit, just almost haphazard. But I'm buying it. I'm liking it. I'm giving that a pat on the back. Right, and what else have we got? Oh, we nearly missed on the other side. Not one, not two, but 3 essential lighthouses. I'm not sure what surface they're actually what purpose they're serving, what surface they're purposing. I'm not sure what surface they're purposing. Oh, surface, I'm even going surfacing. I don't know what's going on. But I do like the idea of having docks here as well. And this ramp up here enables you to get down to the back to the old docks. So it's all been thought out. It's okay. It's alright. I just think maybe lighthouses were a little bit unnecessary. Aesthetically, as a map, I quite like it. I think it's worth slightly more than a 3. It's a low 4 for me, but still 4 stars all the same. Detailing, on the other hand, I want to give it a 3, but there are 1 or 2 too many big glitches, and for that I've got to knock it down to the 2. Gameplay potential, on the other hand, I mean, once again, you could argue a 2, but I'm feeling generous. If you don't mind fixing 1 or 2 problems, this map then becomes quite glorious. So I think we'll give that a 3rd star, which is not bad for a Throwback Thursday map. So that's Tyria Paradise by BabyStar, and I was actually quite surprised by it. Well, there you are. So that's it. Thanks for watching, commenting, liking and subscribing. Don't forget to join me tomorrow for another map in the What's Map series. It's a request map tomorrow, as voted for by my Patreon BonBonB buddies up there in the top right hand corner. Thank you so much for voting one in for me, and we'll do that. And then of course Monday, don't forget, we've got another Skylines talk with another guest. Catch you then and have a great day.